The Dawn Hill Fight Foundation raises money for families who are battling pancreatic cancer. This foundation was created in Dawn's name to raise awareness, and it was her mission to pay it forward. Join us in the next 30 minutes as we learn about the foundation, all the people involved, and the personal stories behind it. I'm Christy Breslin, and this is Harford MagaScene. I'm now joined with Rebecca Kugel. She is the president of the Dawn Hill Fight Foundation. She's here to tell us why it started, why they're continuing the good work that they do in Harford County, and all about the people behind the scenes. Hi.
Hi, Christy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Now, Rebecca, tell me, how did the Dawn Hill Fight Foundation first get started?
So my wife, Dawn, of 17 years, was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer at the age of 47. So we initially had done some fundraising for her by creating a 5K. We were big runners, and we wanted to hold an event to raise monies for medical needs. So we created the foundation in her honor after she passed, and we're still doing that race now. We just actually completed our 8th annual Dawn's 5K Dash this past May.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about Dawn.
Absolutely. I will say she was the most beautiful soul that I have ever met in my entire life. We started dating back in 1999 when my daughter was 3.5 years old. So we've been together for quite some time, had a beautiful, beautiful relationship, and one that most people always say they dream of and never get to encounter. So I feel very blessed by that. And we just had a great life traveling and just exploring, and she was a big foodie. She loved food, so we were always trying to find new places to eat. But yes, we had been together for 17 years before she was diagnosed.
From what you told me, she was around for the first Dawn's 5K Dash. So what were her feelings about continuing it?
She wanted to have the race continue and us to use the monies that were raised to give directly to patients. She wanted their mind to be in their fight and not on their finances. So we do not give to research, we give the monies directly to the patients. We know that mortgages still are there, groceries are still there. None of that goes away. So those are the things that obviously with prescriptions as well, tolls, co-pays, people who have to travel, we want those monies to be used for that. So that's why we donate directly to the patients.
Wow. And talk about the emotional support you provide to all these patients.
Yes, that's another big piece of it. I think a lot of people have said, you know, maybe cut that part out. It's kind of heartbreaking and it's a lot for you emotionally to go through every time. But I will say, the amount of feedback that I've gotten from patients who have said just that emotional support has helped me so much, that is what keeps me going and warms my heart, because I know that sometimes I'm the first and only person they've talked to because they don't want to burden their family with their concerns or their anxiety or their depression that they're feeling. It's a lot for them to go through. So we chat sometimes for 5 minutes, sometimes an hour. Whatever they need is what I'm there for, because that emotional support really does help so much in addition to the financial support.
Now, we talked about all the support and the services that you offer for all these people that are experiencing pancreatic cancer. How do you acquire them?
Yep, so a lot of times folks will learn of us through social workers at various hospitals or through doctors' offices. We have a website. There's a 2-page application on there that they can fill out. We try to keep it super simple. Sometimes I am told we are the only organization that has replied back to them. Sometimes people are meant to fill out 15 pages of applications. We keep ours super short at 2. Obviously, we verify all of that information prior to then me reaching out to the patient to speak to them about their journey, tell them about Dawn and our foundation. So yes, they can find us through the website.
Rebecca, thank you so much. This is just such a great organization, and it's so great that you're so available to all the people here in Harford County.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, we're going to hear more about the foundation's expansion and what they're doing to raise awareness. Dave Nejikowski is the vice president of the Dawn Hill Fight Foundation, and he's been involved for quite some time. He's going to tell us about the experience and really how they're helping all of these people and the reaction that they're getting from the people that they are helping. Hi, Dave.
Hi, how you doing?
Great, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Now, Dave, you've been involved with the foundation for quite some time. So what prompted you to get involved? Why are you involved?
So Rebecca and I started dating in 2018, and I'd say about a year later there was a couple spots open on the board, and she asked me, and I said, of course, I'll help her out in any way I can. So I've been on the board for about 4 years now.
Well, tell me about the board of directors.
So the board of directors, so it's myself and Rebecca, of course, and Jody and Amanda, and you know, we basically do anything we can to help Rebecca. Rebecca is, I always say, she's the straw that stirs a drink in this whole foundation. And we do a lot of things to support her. You know, we have monthly meetings to talk about mostly the race that's coming up in May, and also any other fundraisers that we want to do in the fall time as well.
Now, obviously, to put something on like this, you have to have corporate sponsors, you have to have personal sponsors, and I know that you've had a lot of support from both. So tell me about that.
Sure. We have 17 sponsors right now, and our sponsors are just amazing. I mean, there's 4 different levels of sponsorship that companies or corporations can get involved in. There's one that's called Friend, Supporter, Champion, and Warrior. And some of them just go above and beyond the warrior stage, and it's great. I mean, the sponsors, there's some that have been with us from the very beginning. We have a couple new sponsors, but they just really provide the resources that are so essential that we need, not just for the race, but the biggest part is giving the money to the patients. And that's why they're so helpful and they're so generous. And we just couldn't be happier or more proud of the sponsors that help us out.
Well, I know this just continues to grow. So talk about the growth that we've seen.
So it does, and really growth really happens on a year-by-year basis. I mean, I think more importantly than growing, it's the advocacy part that's more important to us. I mean, quite honestly, you know, we would love for there to be a cure. We would love for there to be early detection where people wouldn't need money and people can get taken care of when they go to the hospital, but it's not that way. And so it's important for us to really spread the word. And hopefully there are other organizations like this around the country, like ours, somewhat grassroots, that are growing, that can help raise awareness, because that's the most important thing, helping these patients.
Now, what other ways are you raising awareness besides the 5K?
One of the easiest things that we do and that a lot of people can do are birthday fundraisers on Facebook. We have a couple birthdays coming up on the board, and you know, we can raise $500, $600, $700 just through someone's birthday, so that's always good. We have one of our main sponsors, Conrad's, does a give back, and we do a lot of different events with them throughout the year where they'll give back money. So that's really helpful. So yeah, and you know, also too, we have not just our corporate sponsors, but we have a lot of people that just personally donate money throughout the year. Some do it monthly, and those, you know, people, some like to remain anonymous, and that's great, but you know, that helps too. And it's nice that there are people out there with such huge hearts that want to give and want to help this foundation, and really help Rebecca too with this.
Thanks, Dave. I know that you've been such a big part of this foundation, and we're lucky to have people like you in this world.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, the Dawn Hill Fight Foundation not only helps people emotionally, but they help them financially. So we'll hear more about that coming up. Jody Krause is the treasurer of the foundation. She is the woman with all the answers as far as finances go. Jody, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you had a friendship with Rebecca, but you had a friendship with Dawn as well. So I know that goes deep.
Rebecca and I have been friends since elementary school and on up. We have lost touch throughout the years, and we got into the running business. We're in the running world. She has a Running Warriors group and joined me to come for a couple runs, at which time I was introduced to Dawn. We established a relationship at that time, continued to do running. At that time, Dawn once she was diagnosed, we all just kind of teamed in and became one to try to help and support other people that were experiencing and were diagnosed with the same cancer that she was.
Now, you've had a struggle yourself, and you said that's part of the reason why you and Dawn bonded.
Yes, I was my first mammogram at the age of 40. I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
And how are you doing today?
I'm an 8-year survivor.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That's what we love to hear. How many patients would you say the foundation has assisted over the years?
Since July of 2016 through July of 2023, we have assisted and provided 253 patients.
And how much money has been raised since the foundation began?
All time, we've raised $293,000.
Wow, that is incredible. Now, what are the requirements for financial assistance eligibility?
We simply have a 2-page form. You fill out simply your name, your address, where you live. We do ask for a release form that is signed off by the doctor, which Rebecca Intel calls that doctor to make sure that the diagnosis that being reported on the eligibility form is what's being provided as service-wise to the patient.
Jody, thank you so much. Thank you for handling all the finances. That is not an easy job to do, so we appreciate it.
It is not an easy job, but I thoroughly enjoy it.
Well, we are so glad to hear that because we need someone like you on board. Coming up next, we're going to speak to the secretary of the Dawn Hill Fight Foundation, who joins us remotely to give us an idea of what she does for the foundation and how you can contribute.
Hi, my name's Amanda Girolamo, and I'm just so honored to be a part of such an impactful and special organization. I've been on the Dawn Hill Fight Foundation board as secretary since fall of 2022, so I'm the newest member of the team. But my friendship with Rebecca is not new. We've been friends since high school, so we go way back. I've gotten to become friends with the rest of the team through Rebecca. I just want to say, though, that everything that this team does is based around caring for the individuals who are going through probably one of the toughest things anyone could go through. But the impact isn't just to the patients and families that we support and serve. It's also impactful to be a part of something as a community. Being on the board, we have a unique perspective, hearing and seeing the incredible and heart-filling feeling of generosity from our supporters. Listening to stories about how pancreatic cancer has impacted almost everyone that we touch, and knowing that they're doing something to help move the needle on awareness and actually impact the lives of people who are going through this battle is a really good feeling. Plus, there's the fun of seeing the faces of our participants who joined the Dawn Hill 5K, who've just completed their first 5K, or for those who have participated and actually placed. Everybody gets a medal, but all of our winners, they get the placement medal. So it's fun to see their faces when that happens. Naturally, we want folks to be a part of our biggest fundraiser. So the event that Dawn Hill was passionate about is the Dawn 5K Dash. And it's one of the best days of my year every year. I'll get into that in a minute, but there are lots of other ways to be a part of this effort. One of the coolest ways you can be a part of our initiatives is to donate via Facebook birthday fundraiser. It's an easy way to raise money. It spreads awareness to people that otherwise would not see our team's Facebook page, and it's easy. So all you do is select the Raise Money button. And if you don't know where that is, picture you're out with your friends at dinner. You go to tag a photo of your meal or your friends, and in the spot where you can post and tag, right below that, there's a little Raise Money button. It's a pink coin. You just click on that, and easy peasy lemon squeezy, you can get the donation up and running. And the cool thing is that it's free for us to use that platform. And after you've posted it, your friends and Facebook do the work. It's just money that goes to a good cause. So it's a great feeling, and it's a nice way to celebrate your birthday. We also have lots of volunteers that volunteer time. We usually need help during our fundraisers, such as during packet pickup day, right before the race. My mom and son helped with that last year and loved every second of it. They had a great time. And then there's also need for setup of the race and help on a race day. There's lots of different ways to get involved. So if time is what you'd like to give, we will take it. Our volunteers are so appreciated, and our team is we just have fun together. If someone wants to champion this amazing cause with money and donating directly, or just by getting some awareness and learning, we have lots of platforms for donations and for information. The first, you can check out Don Hill Fight Foundation on Facebook. You can go to @Don's 5K Dash on Instagram. We also have Don Hill Fight Foundation on Venmo. And then we have www.donhillfightfoundation.org. And then we have a donation QR code, and there's other ways that you can give through platforms such as Benevity, GuideStar, Thrivent, Bright Funds, American Online Giving, and PayPal, of course. So please don't forget that. That's one basic way that you can just promote our organization. Please don't forget that the money does go directly to the patients. The money goes to help them in their time when maybe they can't be working all the time. It helps supplement their income. Please don't forget that many companies do offer donation matching. So I know personally, my company does a couple of things. We at Transamerica, where I work, they will donate money, and they're a sponsor. But then there's also a platform to match your funds that you've donated. So that's one thing. And then we also at Transamerica offer hours towards working at a charitable event. So they give me 8 hours a year to work somewhere and give back to the community. So if your company does that, please check it out, and we can maximize your monetary and your time donations. Our main event, as I said before, is the Don's 5K Dash, and we're about to embark on our 9th year. So that's just awesome. It's grown annually, and we want to see that growth continue. Open early bird enrollment starts in November. This is intentional because November is also Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. We really want everyone to be informed about pancreatic cancer and, of course, their health in general. Just knowing what you need to know about this disease is important. So awareness is key. And we really would like to see you at that race in May. So the basic human connection is powerful. It's a powerful thing. And knowing that we at Don Hill Fight Foundation, we're doing this together to help people that need it, there's just no better feeling in the world than that. So we hope you'll check out our site, and we hope that we will see you in May at the race.
Lauren Shea is a strong supporter of the Don Hill Fight Foundation. It started with her relationship with Rebecca, and she has been involved ever since, really making a difference in people's lives. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Lauren, you're the VP at Kohler Healthcare Consultants, so you know a lot about the statistics and everything involved with pancreatic cancer.
I have worked for hospitals and health systems since 1997, but until it touches you personally, I think that's when you learn.
And it has touched you personally. Tell us your story.
So in 2018, the summer of 2018, my husband, Ed, who was 48 years old, was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer that had already spread to his liver.
I can't imagine the heartbreak for you, for your children. How did you get through this?
It's when you get news like that, it's such a shock. He had never ever been sick. We had been together since I was 19 years old and he was 24 years old. So we have 3 children. In fact, it was a pretty busy season for us. Our oldest was going to study abroad. Our middle was graduating from high school, and our youngest had just finished elementary school. So we had just come back from a family vacation, and Ed was experiencing some very mild symptoms, and he was getting them checked out, but we never dreamt that's what it was.
Wow. Well, can you speak about the pancreatic cancer statistics, like warning signs, risk factors?
So pancreatic cancer is somewhat unusual in that it is often caught at stage 4. because it spreads so quickly from the pancreas to other organs. That's what tends to cause the symptoms. The symptoms are mild, so they're not necessarily symptoms that you would rush to a doctor for. The statistics for pancreatic cancer, this year they estimate in the US 65,000 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. They also estimate that more than 50,000 patients will die of pancreatic cancer. So it is actually the third deadliest cancer behind lung, and just behind colon cancer is pancreatic cancer.
Now, when did you first connect with the Dawn Hill Fight Foundation? Because I know you've been very active with them and very helpful to many, many families.
So Ed was diagnosed in July of 2018, and he started a clinical trial almost immediately. And he was actually doing really well initially with the clinical trial. And my sister found Dawn's Dash that fall and said, I think as a family we should all do this. And when I say all, we assumed Ed would be at Dawn's Dash as well. Things changed, and at Thanksgiving, we found out the clinical trial wasn't working. And they tried standard of care treatment, and in January found out that that was not working either. So we started hospice, and Ed passed on March 24th, 2019. He actually spent his 49th birthday in the hospital that January. So then my sister said, remember this race? Do you think we should still do it? And so I signed up for the race. It was that May. Rebecca almost immediately emailed me personally, letting me know how sorry she was to hear about Ed, and went to the race. It was a very foggy day for me. I mean, we had just lost Ed. And I remember looking around at all the volunteers and all the participants and feeling like this is awful, but I'm not alone. Right. All these people care. All these people are trying to help. And after the race, Rebecca said, seeing my 12-year-old son really helped her volunteers just say, this is why we're here. This is what we're doing. And we met up. Rebecca said, I want to get together, just the two of us, to talk. And we did that soon after the race. And we were at a restaurant for hours. We could finish each other's sentences. A lot of similarities between Ed and Dawn and ourselves. We were immediately friends at that point. And I knew that this is how I wanted to help families like my family, like Rebecca's family.
Now, not only that, but you wrote a book about your journey. Tell us about the book.
I did. Lessons Learned Living in the Ever After. It's available on Amazon. I self-published in November of 2022, just what this has been like for our family and things that have helped and things that maybe haven't helped us through these last several years. And the book, I hope, spreads encouragement and hope to other families going through situations like this, or if you're trying to help someone.
Thank you so much. And again, I'm sorry about your husband, but so grateful that we have people like you that are involved with this foundation that are helping other people get through this terrible battle.
Thank you.
And coming up next, we're going to be joined by Thomas Riley from Virginia, who was also a pancreatic cancer patient and the recipient of one of the awards from the Dawn Hill Fight Foundation. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Tom. I'm from Hampton, Virginia. I have 7 kids and 11 grandchildren. I work for a local coal terminal. I was at work one night and couldn't stop going to the bathroom. So I went to the ER. They did a bunch of tests. After seeing them, I was told to follow up with my family doctor. After that, I saw a GI specialist, a surgeon, an oncologist. And I still thought nothing was wrong because I had no pain. But after a biopsy was done, I was found out I had pancreatic cancer, stage 2B. And with that came a total of 12 rounds of chemo. Well, it was set up in 2 different stages, 6, then it'd be another 6. Well, It was very rough. Actually, at the first one, I thought I was going to die because of the aggressiveness of the chemo treatment I was getting. I just had a lot of issues, throwing up, my tongue swelled up. But my nurse Sarah came in the bathroom, got me straight, and we went on from there. After a few setbacks and 4 long months of treatment, I had surgery to remove about 3/4 of my pancreas and my spleen, and then 6 more rounds of chemo. It was a very hard process. The best advice I can give people is stay positive, but you got to have a good support system. And like I say, I think that's the main reason I'm here, is because my wife, my kids, even my coworkers, everybody, friends, family, everybody took time to make sure I was okay. And that's the best medicine in the world. My wife found out about the Dawn Hill Fight Foundation when she was researching organizations to help us. When you go through stuff like this, you get into a bad financial situation. So there's a lot of organizations you can apply to. A lot of them you never hear back from. But we did hear from the Dawn Hill Foundation, and we got a phone call, and it was very emotional talking to Rebecca. And since then, she emails, she IMs, she calls. She goes out of her way to make sure she makes you feel like family. But one time she did call me and told me about the 5K and asked me, is that something I'd be interested in just coming up and watching? I said, well, actually, I think I can do it. So my wife, my daughter, one of my daughters, my son-in-law, we got in the car and we went up there and did it. It took me a little over an hour. I walked. There wasn't no running involved. But before the race, Rebecca asked me to say a few words, to the people that were there, to the crowd that was there, and I did. And, I hope I helped, because I know there were some groups there that had family members that was going through it. And I hope I said something to make somebody's journey a little easier. Because it's very hard. Like I say, and I knew all the people there, knew somebody had been through it or actually still going through it. So I hope it helped them. But I was really honored to speak, and it was just a great experience. They had a dinner afterwards at Conrad's, I believe it was called Seafood Bar, and that was very nice too. But the main thing I would like to say, you got to have a support system. And for me, it's my family, it's my coworkers, it's some people I didn't even know, and it's amazing. People come out of the woodwork to help you. And it seemed like that all started when Rebecca called from the foundation. Because like I say, you feel physically beat down, emotionally beat down, and then for somebody to call and say, hey, I want to help you, it changed our life. But I would suggest anybody that needs any help or any encouragement, Rebecca's the girl to talk to. So, thank you.
The Dawn Hill Fight Foundation continues to grow and support more patients every year. Their last 5K, they had over 400 participants, and you don't have to be there in person, you can do it virtually. If you would like to learn more about them or how you can support them, just look at our screen for all of their social media channels. I'm Christy Breslin. We'll see you next month on Harford MagaScene.